it's time for turn 7 of Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa. And we're going to begin with the Finns. Clicked the wrong button there. What I wanted to do was see where the bees are. Oh boy, we're right up next to them, huh? We can take this cell over. Are we... What I want to... Oh, the Finnish government has not agreed to go beyond the border. What's the trigger for that? Huh. That's annoying because we could. We very well could attack there and take that hex, but I just am unable to do it without getting majorly penalized. Okay, so we're not going to get better than 4%. This is kind of a frustrating thing in that you can do this well, but not be able to continue the assault. So, thinking, based on last turn, I was surprised with the fatigue levels being so low on that. Maybe I'm thinking about when you come up this part, when I said that you come up this next jank, right? There's two of these. Basically, they're very similar, right? You've got Windau and Riga, which is very similar to Tanlin and Narva here. Just a little bit of geographic difference in between, and I think they're going to defend this pretty harsh. So that's going to be an issue. We are out of fuel because we're in that 3-day forward supply-based move. I'm going to try and see what we can get out of the Luftwaffe. A thimbleful. BBL stands just for barrel, which is so many hundreds of liters. 200 or 300 liters, I think, per barrel. And, well, let's take Windau. There's no real point in moving these guys again because they can't even attack once they get there, except one of this guy can, but the other guy could not. I think that is a good idea. Let's see what we can come up with here. 65. We're a little over, but that's okay. Good. So they're all gone. That's 10,000. And we've got Windau. I know when we looked in the cards, they're going to ask us about Liepāja, I don't know, and Riga. Do you want to send convoys here and here? And yeah, absolutely we do, because it's going to take some strain off the trains. Alright, so let's I'm going to get the 18th Army to move over. Alright, so we're a bit spread out, can't do too much about these units, but they're at 10% fatigue now. It's not that bad. I'll let them go up to 30 sometimes, but then they're freaking useless. So you really want to catch them around 20, I think, and let them rest there if you can. So these guys, as I move them over, they're going to be the backup. They're going to be the defense line to keep Riga safe hang on to whatever else we do here. They'll probably go up here and do some defending while our panzers roam around here. And now we do have a problem in that I'm just going to attack them with these two. There's no point in not. By these two, I mean these two hexes. And we're up against 60. Well, we're certainly going to be overloaded. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can cross somebody over into this fortress hex and attack with that. Or from there. And nobody wants to attack from over there. Well, I really don't like the idea of overloading, but I think we're going to have to do it. And we'll go with that. We can always hit them harder with more later. Let's see what we do. Okay, good. And, that wasn't too bad. 400 loss, 2,400 on the enemy side. But most importantly, we've picked up this city, so I'm going to move and figure out what to do next. Okay, so we moved as many up as we can. I'm going to probably encircle this. They bugged out so many units though, right? That the grand encirclement that I was hoping to get has disappeared on me. It's okay. I bet you these people are in a mood to retreat. Yeah. Alright. There's no point in me keeping these cells or these hexes filled in. We'll be able to move the 9th Army along the border and into these hexes, so we'll be alright. We'll be alright. I'm going to move up a little bit and figure out what I'm doing around here. So we have a problem about the encirclement of Jacobstadt in that we do not have enough fuel to get anybody over. I was able to move this motorized unit down to here, but they just can't do it. No one can get over to this hex, and if I move him there, he'll just simply go there, and I've achieved nothing. So I'm going to attack with what I've got and dislodge him from that city and take it, and that'll make him go here and he'll probably run out. And it's unfortunate, but we really need this city. Let's see how we did. We lost 1,000 guys. It's 1,200. Let's say that went okay. That went okay. We really need this bridge repaired. It's not critical. I mean, that's not a rail line. Capturing this city will allow our rail conversion to renew, which is great. And we can continue driving this way, but yeah, that just didn't go as I hoped it would. Anyway, I'm going to move some units here. Okay, so we were able to move folks. It's close. I don't know. I probably can't attack here. I'd love to be able to. Even if I could attack with one unit, I would. But we got nothing. And they will definitely escape, and I'll have to defeat them somewhere else. Ostrov maybe or something. They'll probably retreat this way. If they go up this way, I'll be surprised. And so I've got enough blocking over here. I moved the unit from here to here to be able to protect the headquarters. Can't move the headquarters because it's motorized and takes gasoline. in this case. So that's okay for Army Group North. You know, we took the city that we wanted to. We took 2 cities actually, and our next step is 16th Army will continue to sweep this way, and 4th Panzer can. We'll see. I'll probably get them to come up here towards Ostrov and Pskov, and move the 18th Army up this way. It can be tempting for 4th Panzer to split up and operate on both sides of the river. It's really important, I feel, to get a infantry unit of some kind into this hex, and it may as well be one of the 4th Panzer groups, because otherwise you're anchoring the 18th Army down from being able to advance forward. And the army groups, you know, the Panzer groups can be coming from this side anyway. It's all stuff to be thinking ahead on when you're, you know, after you've done this a few times, because I've gotten units stuck there out of supply. I've had a meat grinder going on trying to attack in there. So I don't know. I would guess that we're going to get to Ostrov either next turn or the turn after that, and then we'll be able to whip the 18th Army up in this direction. But the next couple turns is going to be slow. I checked, and we're going to get our forward supply base back at Riga here next turn. So let's head south. Never did move that weird armored division here. 11th, 1st Armored Division. Okay, so we've got the guards here. Can the guards attack? Yes. So we'll get them to join in. And in that case, I'm going to move the headquarters there so that everybody gets the benefit. And I don't know. This can be very difficult not to crack this one. We'll give it a go. Well, I feel very fortunate. Some of it's because we waited a turn. I do not take that for granted. And so what that's going to allow us to do, yay, that bridge still exists, is head up in this direction. I want the 11th Army to move out this way as fast as possible. And I think we can. It's really not necessary or important for me to maintain this territory up here, but these few hexes across here or something, and maybe taking this, even though there's no bridge, could be useful. Obviously, we're going to connect up with the 17th Army to the 3rd Romanians and take that city there this turn. So let me get some movement going on here. Okay, so I just moved this unit to here, and I want you to notice that supply is not great. That could change, as we've seen it change right in the middle of a turn. And sometimes I don't always believe the overlay as well. Sometimes it'll show you that things are fine and then they're not fine later, but this is something to watch for. And I'm going to have to move this 11th Army to the east, the headquarters, to help out with the attacks that we're about to do and pull some more units over, so we do have to get out of here. Okay, now here's where we see commitment, okay? I need to move the headquarters over here to be able to attack across the river with some units that I'm bringing up. And that means that I have to pull these guys back. They need to come into the command zone, or else. So I'll keep them out as far as I can, but that's it. And so we see a couple of units. There's that 9th headquarters that we saw on this side of the river. They've hopped across. There's nobody that I can attack with. I'm too weak here too. How are we doing for fuel? Probably should move this guy closer just to have him there conveniently. So that's what commitment takes. It's kind of scary. I've had to sort of leave this open, and it's maybe important, maybe not, I don't know, but it's always good to have some sort of guard there. And so now let's get on with this. Okay, so I had some opportunity with a couple units here to cross the river if I wanted, but I didn't. Instead, I sent one ahead to complete the encirclement here. We were able to take this city. Because this bridge is broken, the Slovaks could not get across, and that's kind of unfortunate, but we have an encirclement opportunity here. That's a lot of units. So yeah, mixing units, not so great, you see. Yeah, you get more firepower, but also can damage your concentric bonus. So it's always good to play around and check. So that's a decent sized single unit, yeah, almost 10,000. And so that means we are done. We have, in this area, we have cleared out this entire area south of this river, and mostly that. Proskuro is our next target, and now I will move the 17th Army up in this direction, and keeping this lurking trouble present in my mind. Okay, so keeping our command limits in mind here. This is just as a pickup for next turn, right? I'm probably going to pull them back in this direction and retreat the 3rd Army down this way, or maybe towards this, who knows. We'll see how pesky this is. Again, keeping the units separated. I don't really want the 17th Army and 1st Panzer Groups overlapping units. Looks like we might be able to help out next turn with this. Let's see what we've got available to attack. I don't think that that's going to work, and if it does, it's going to be horrible, so it's not critical that we get it this turn. It's tempting to pull these guys back even farther now because they're just not needed. Alright, so looking at the supply up here, which for some reason is on the Soviet side, and they always get supply. You can see as soon as you get off this very narrow single strand here of hexes with the border, you get into trouble right away. So it's just something to keep in mind. We're going to move that 4th Army down and hopefully block them off from any further procession in this direction, and then push them back. What's really concerning me is what exists in here that I don't know about. These guys really pushed forward last turn. I'm going to probably have to retreat some units and bring them around, and that's okay. This is to be expected for this area because I am pushing past this whole zone here in which anything could be in there, you know. Just don't know. Most of these guys are going to remain in their football blocking situation. These guys, this bridge still exists, that's a good thing. And I've got to push across. I do want to see if I can get around in here. We don't have a ton of fuel, but compared to Army Group North, we're practically drowning in it. So I'm going to get my guys ready to do something about this or cross over into here or something. Okay, we've got a lot. I kind of have to overload just to have enough firepower to be able to do this. Okay, good. That's very helpful. Again, we lost 5% of our guys or more. Doesn't really matter how much damage I do to the enemy because they'll just get conscript replenishments. I could have moved some people into this hex, but they couldn't attack, so there was no real point in doing it. Now I'm going to move people across. Okay, so now I've got the problem in that I've got two objectives here, both of which go in completely opposite directions. One, I do want to sweep up to cut off these guys and do something about them. Two, I want to sweep south, and maybe this, but this is a heavy block right here. So I'm going to go after this hex here, I think. Hopefully we can get the Hungarians in. Yep. Okay. Yeah, let's send the headquarters in by itself. That always works well. And let's see if we can get any other. Okay, I can live with that. Okay, that wasn't too bad. We didn't lose a lot of guys. Those units there are fairly depleted. Okay. I could attack this, and I might as well. Can get the Hungarians over there. Okay, so the Hungarians could attack this guy, but there's no real profit in it this turn. Even if we could push them back, we would go there, and then there would be this hole, which I assure you they would spill out of. I mean, there's like a 90% chance. I've seen them do it. One of the problems when I first played the game for probably my first 4 or 5 playthroughs was I would advance, and I would advance along a totally broad front, north-south, and eventually my units would get tired and there would be gaps between the major units, and the Soviets would show up with huge numbers of conscripts and start doing what I call leaking around the edges. They would come in and they would get around the edges of my groups and get in behind, and then I'd realize I had no chance of winning and I'd restart, and this would happen by August or September and then October, and then finally I started to do better by not doing that. So picking the battle is very important here. So I'm going to check out some of these. This is a pretty full stack here. These units are in good shape. There's 260 here. There's even more here. Okay, they're weaker. 248. And then in Zhytomyr itself, we've got a massive number of armored divisions. Okay, so we're up against our match here, is the long and short of it. And we have a lot to do. Yeah. This one's in slightly better shape. As long as we don't get hit by water. So, yeah, I think my best option is to come around the north, or this cell in the south. And we'll see, they may do some major shuffling during their turn. I could change everything, but one of these sides is probably going to be more open, the north or the south, and that will be where I send my folks in. This is interesting. And so I need to kind of forget about this right now, in terms of encirclement, and see even like who can attack here. See, you've got these tank units here, and motorized units, there's nothing wrong with them, but they can't go into the swamp. So I don't want to let this guy get any further. I do want to attack this hex. I really want to attack it, so that I could surround this. And I probably should. Like, I might not get another chance here. So I'll save one unit to back out and try and block the 228 here. So I hope you've figured out by watching that a lot of this game is not necessarily what you can do this turn, but to set up what you could do next turn. In this case, the thing is, if we want this to work, and they'll probably pull out this turn, we'd have to get through here, push these guys back. I mean, I'll try it, because I can still attack with the 16 army folks if I succeed here. Okay, that didn't go too badly. So this is an example of just coming up with something on the fly that I didn't expect to do, based on what the... Oh gosh, we're out of fuel, but I'm not attacking with motorized forces here. I'm attacking with this. Okay, we still outnumber them. I don't know whether we'll succeed or not, but I'm going to say no. Okay. Alright, I'll take it. Okay. 10% dead though. But we stopped them. We got rid of that bunch of units, and they will not bother us again. I am not going to move these guys across the river. I'm going to need them to back up this way. In fact, yeah, I'll take advantage of that right now and be able to put them out. And it's not going to be good. I'm going to put them into harm's way in hexes like this where they're not going to have as good supply, but I have to do it. Okay. Well, that turned out alright. I didn't think we'd get an encirclement out of it, and Lvov. Yeah, we're at 9-10 hexes away from the airport again, and we just moved it to Lvov too. Like, we've got to do something here. Usually I have the forward supply base in the south and the airfield in Minsk or something. I'm going to play that card. Resupply fuel, Army Group South. Hopefully we'll get something. 400. Okay, so the weather hurt us. Distance hurt us, and we got a thimbleful. That will allow me to get this guy across the river, which is what I'm really looking for. Oh, just to the river. Okay, we've got a lot of action points. Well, I guess not a lot. Oh, well, that's fantastic. We can go backwards if we want. So that's fun. Did the Adolf Hitler division not fight? I'll move him there for next turn. So I'm thinking about concentric bonus setup for next turn. I think we're pretty much done here, though. I moved the 3rd Romanians out of this city and to the north as far as they would go. I really would like them to cross the river and get involved in the envelopment of this city, Proskuro. I wish I had a native to the region tell me how to pronounce all these names. And so now we're off to Army Group Central. Okay, so we've got a lot going on here. We've got the 4th Army coming down to take care of these guys somehow. We've got the 2nd Panzers trying to do some sort of envelopment here and also move in towards Orsha from the south. We've got the 3rd Panzer Group, who has the job of, like, this looks pretty uncluttered up here, right? It's swooping around and getting at Orsha from the north. And the 9th Army will drive up along the border with Army Group North and clear things out up there. If there is anything, there'll probably be something up here. And so I'm going to move the 9th Army first because it's, I don't know, it's the easiest. I can see what I have to do. Alright, so I've decided to just straight up attack this way. If you were watching last turn, you should have noticed that I made a slight error in that I should have moved a motorized unit across that bridge. The hole was open and I should have taken it then. It's not going to kill me, but I wouldn't have had to do that particular fight. Okay, we're setting up a small encirclement here. Pushing this out of the way, and then we'll get that unit. And it may seem like a little thing, but this unit is actually holding up everyone here with the zone of control. I can't just pour past it as I would. Without it being there. Alright. So 4th Panzer, you will definitely be attacking. 64. Okay, that's good. And maybe one more unit than I need, but again, I'd rather not have casualties. Yeah, nobody died, except on their side. Alright, I'm going to be moving these guys and the 4th Army. Okay, so we moved down a bit and we're going to push this out of the way, if we can, with what we've got already here, because they're blocking this, and probably this from coming down anymore. And I want them to. Let's see how we're doing on fatigue. 6, okay, well, we're still doing good. Alright, let me move. Alright, so what I've done is move down. We've linked up, so this is good. We can start concentrically pushing this guy back. And we'll run into some resistance and they'll leak over the zone border and that kind of thing. It'll be a pain until I can get somebody to come up from the south over here and squeeze them from the other side. But this is a hell of a lot better than fighting them, you know, down in here or something. And well, that's what we have to deal with for now. These guys, I've moved them as much as I can. I don't know if there's any hope for encirclement here. I might be able to elongate these guys along here, come across the river and link up. Maybe it's possible. I'm going to move 3rd Panzer Group now and see what we can do. Okay, so if one of the first things we were able to do is surround this thing, these units, and let's get rid of them. Okay, no casualties on my side, 6,200 and change on theirs. Good stuff. Okay, so come around here. These are just big blocks of units, and I've got really no one is greater or better than the other. Wow, no, that's not worth doing. Trying to find a hole I can make here. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this turn. Maybe I could push these guys back. Maybe. Is this a fight worth fighting? 285 versus 264. They are infantry. I could probably do it. But then I'd have them all in one line, and what would I do? Jagged edges are usually, you know, the best of what you're looking for. Yeah, that's where the most of our firepower can be. I don't like it. I don't like any of it. I like the fact that we're up close to them and we're surrounding them, and that's good. But I think we're going to have to push out more of these units, our units, to the edge, here or here or here, and be able to come around or push through or something like that. And then that's going to let us, because no matter what direction we go in order to encircle something, we have to push back 2 of these blocks of units, right? 2 of these stacks, and I just can't do it this turn. So we're all set up here. I think we've captured them as well as we can. And here, same thing. They're not going to do anything else. I don't know. They might attack. They could. This is the weak point. Frankly, you know, we'll see. If I could move that one of these units over here, I would. But it doesn't want to let me do it. So that's fun. No, I think that's it for units. Let's get into the cards. Can I attack? Can I attack? I'd like to attack. Only with the field headquarters. Well, none of us are suicidal. Also, it would be completely ineffective. Boy, am I tempted to run those guys back. But next turn, you know, they'll cover like 4 hexes and be able to get to there, no problem. And these guys can cross the river. I think we're in pretty good shape. Oh, I need to place my reinforcements. Reinforcements, yes. Reinforcements. I will do that at Minsk. And so his headquarters is there, but he's going to get units over the next 2 turns. This high octane, we'll use it when we can. I suspect I'll use it for the encirclement of Moscow, where we need some zippity to get around a little more. And so it's not, it's a cool card. It's not worth using right now. And boy, they're gonna run out of there. And I'm gonna have to do this all over again around Ostrov or something. Okay, let's see. The convoys are easy decisions. So this is the one on the outside of the sort of peninsula there. And they're saying there's no real likelihood of the Soviet fleet showing up. And let me know when we'll start running some convoys. So darn right I'm going to do that. I don't know what the downside to this is. Same thing for Riga. And maybe if we didn't have points or anything. Commendation, that's a good thing. Not the condemnation. 3 points, no problem, to make sure that that division gets combat bonuses, so that's cool. Poor cooperation. So the trains and the Luftwaffe are not cooperating. General Gurkha is appealing to me to deal with Hermann Goering. So I can insist that they cooperate. We roll low, there's a bad outcome. I could order Gurkha to properly guard the trains. High chance of bad outcome. Demand Goring do things with his Luftwaffe to be useful. Good chance he's going to get mad at me. Ignore the matter, horrible. Call a meeting. So this is the lowest cost and the lowest risk, so I'm going to take that. And we rolled high, so that's great. Your diplomatic skills have managed to prevail in the face of entrenched opposition from both parties. The level of cooperation achieved will probably not be ideal, but it should be sufficient. Okay. Wonder if he has anything to say. Sometimes he does. If there is a quote, it probably comes from one of my field commanders telling me that I suck. Yep, your lack of consistency is very unprofessional. Fascinating. I didn't know I was inconsistent. Okay, so here we are with the questions of should we move the forward supply base and airfield of Army Group Center to Minsk? And the answer is a resounding yes, as I've said before. So I'm going to get out my pencil and write in my book. We're moving that from Grondo to Minsk. And we're moving that from Brest-Litovsk to Minsk. This is going to hurt us a little bit in the short term because we're not going to get our fuel supply. 12 days, man. I don't remember it being this bad before, but yeah. So, center, I'm not going to be able to do too much. We already looked at our performance evaluation from last time. Nothing about bridges. In Army Group Center, you can see this truck columns traveling excessive distances, you see. And it's over 10 hexes. We're getting exponential penalties, yada yada yada. So that is the reason why we had to move it. Like I said last turn, it is absolutely necessary. So now they're going to be coming here, and you can see this truck line. It's just the caterpillar is long, and it needs to. It'll start from here now, thank goodness. And where's Ursha? Ah. It is covered by that 19th Army there. And 3rd, okay, so this is a good thing to get to and encircle. There's 2 headquarters there. It's not great, it's not great. We should get fuel though again because that forward supply base is going to reconnect at the beginning of next turn. This will be kind of okay, I think, and this will plummet. The relationships is fun. It kind of looks like The Thing, you know, some sort of giant squid. I've had games where they're all good, and that's pretty amazing, but it takes a while to get there. The trains, the trucks. I don't care about the Luftwaffe. Partisans is interesting. And weather, which is meaningless. I generally don't look at this stuff. Nobody's died yet. Ah, this is fun to chart. The death of the German tanks. I mean, like I said before, by August, the commanders were complaining, like Guderian was saying, geez, my panzers are at 50%, and you can see why. They're smashing them against everything that appears. So I've tried to be a little smarter with that. We will get some Italians. They'll show up in Army Group Center later, but they're not there yet. Tracks. All right, let me click this button and end the turn. And let's see what those Soviets get up to. I predict they will escape from here. Maybe try and attack here. Consolidate here. think we're doing pretty well for mid-July. I'm happy. Every time I see AI, I think of red versus blue. And is it donut asking church? What does the AI stand for? Intelligence. And what is the A? Artificial. I haven't watched that in a long time. Yep. They are certainly consolidating. Okay, they're going to put up more of a fight for this city here in the south. That was a lot of units moving in there. Look at Rostov, way over here. I've got to get all the way over there, and to do it. Well, they did not say the game was easy. I learned about this game several months before I decided to buy it, because I don't play many games, believe it or not. I don't have time, I run a business, and learning the syntax of a new game is just something I don't want to do. I look at most games and I go, well, that's pretty cool, but I'm never going to learn how to play it. And this one, that the decisions and the relationships, it just kept coming at me, like, hey, I think you would like this. I think this is interesting. And I watched a few playthroughs and I thought, okay. So I just put up an offer one night for I think $150 or something like that. And somebody bought it quick because that's a low ticket thing for me. And so I went out and bought this right away. And then 2 weeks later, it was on the Steam summer sale for less than half price. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I can't even get mad because it didn't really cost me anything, and I had already gotten more than $50 worth of value from it, so I've really enjoyed it. It's not a dumb shoot 'em up or something. A little bit of assault going on there, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll take this city next turn. Girl. Great new forward supply base for us, and continue on whatever it is we're doing here, some kind of northern or southern encirclement. Look at this, they've totally changed this. They're beefing this up a lot. Jeez, I gotta figure my way out through this. This is a lot. Gotta get in behind them somehow. And not get distracted by that, like the units that are going over the 9th Army through the swamp. If I can get in behind up there and cut off everybody. It's maybe not the 9th, I think it's the 6th, but they'll get stuck out there without supply and retreat, and it'll take care of half the problem just by isolating them. More unit. Oh, interesting. What are they doing? If they stay like that, they're going to get encircled. Well, I've got some figuring to do, particularly in Army Group South, where I'm confronted by a massive enemy force there that, it needs to be surrounded and destroyed, but it's very long. So they had run into rain. Seven decisions, that's not too bad. We are all up to date with National Socialist Party news. Lieutenant Tischler ensures that we never miss an update. Well, it's good to know what the party members are up to. I don't feel the need to hear about it every 2 days. Well, Soviets did the same thing. Let's check our score. And we're still doing great with the strategic and tactical and logistics thing. And the Fuhrer is not too happy with, he doesn't agree. Interesting. So our plan will be to move the 18th Army up here and do some blocking and take over this bit of this peninsula. The 4th somehow around here. I'm amazed they left that there. I'll kill this and destroy them. It's not a big deal, but I think they did pull out a lot towards Ostrov. There's another small encirclement. Yeah, and mostly we'll be pushing this way. This hot mess. Normally I have a little more trouble up in here. I need to block this off and clear this up and then go up in there, I think. But we'll be able to get the 3rd Panzer to come around and that'll get sorted out. So you can see some 2nd Army units already there. This is not that important. This is more, I mean, there's a lot of units there, but this is more defense than anything. There's nothing vital down here. And now the big stuff. These are some large units here that I have to figure out what to do about. I cannot go chasing around these guys with the 6th Army. I need to use the panzers to get through or around and isolate, destroy. I don't know what's going on back here. Like, maybe there's nothing here. I suspect so, and that they've shoved everybody up front here. We can use the 3rd Romanians to kind of cut this off and come that way. I often come into a bit of trouble here where I'm creeping the 17th Army down and we get stuck with some of their units on that side and my guys over here, and supplies bad on that side of the river, etc. So we'll have to look at that. Our next target down here is this. Our rail lines, they're probably asking me about it. Let's see. Yep. Nope, Rail Conversion Army Group North. Okay, I was hoping it would be Army Group South, but I think we said we were going to do this up to Kiev, and then it's got to come down to Pavlograd and Stalino, and then Rostov. So, whoop up and down. They're going to ask me at some point if I want the rail to go to Odessa, but that's just stupid because the rail doesn't go anywhere after Odessa in this direction. So best to send it up and then over and down. And that's the way to get to Rostov. Can you believe how far Stalingrad is? Way over there. And they wanted to get to Astrakhan, and we're pretty close to Astrakhan. If you get a chance to watch Tik, his videos about Stalingrad and this whole area and that decision of like, hey, should we go for the oil fields or what are we doing? Why are we occupying Stalingrad? And that he recently did one where basically arguing that if you were in the field commanding at the time, taking the city makes the most sense, actually. And I found that quite interesting. I really enjoy the research that he does and the analysis that he goes into. And that's not even looking at the videos where he's got the animation of what's going on. You know, when he's covering the history of it, rather than going into any interpretation. I highly recommend those two channels, Tick and the Chieftain. Seeing if the Chieftain will do a podcast with me, but he's super busy, as all of us tend to be. I think he's sort of agreed in principle, and we'll see if he could do that. But anyway, thanks for watching. That's a whole nother hour of content here. Can you believe that? And I've enjoyed doing this. If you have comments or questions, go ahead and please leave them. I'm always trying to do a better job with this stuff, and look forward to sharing the next move with you.